Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308 and don't miss a single six, wicket or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Welcome in to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game with dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV 8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV 8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, June 26th. So good to have you in company on this wonderful day. Nice and overcast outside, so a little cool. I don't know if that will bring some reprieve today for us. The last few days definitely have been quite warm, not only in the daytime, but into the night as well. And usually we're happy to look forward to, you know, a little cool weather in the evening times here in Barbados. Not so much where I am. I don't know if you're getting, you know, any cool breezes where you are, but we certainly have to have more conversations about global warming and how they're affecting us. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here until 8 o'clock this morning, and you can find us wherever you are on social. We're also on YouTube, so a special good morning to those of you watching on that platform. So today we have lots to get through, but I want to welcome two gentlemen joining us this morning to bring some evidence-based information our way, and they're with the National Council on Substance Abuse. Troy Wickham is Deputy Manager at the NCSA. Good morning, great to have you here.
Good morning, Tisha. Nice to be here.
And also with us is Dr. Jonathan Yearwood, who's Research and Information Officer with the NCSA. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, and he's deep in his notes because he has lots and lots to share as we get through a lot of the work that you guys have been doing. So again, great to have you with us. And I definitely have been seeing, you know, all the information you're putting out that you've been sharing through a most novel presentation with your entire staff. Now, I don't know if you've seen it, but we want to set the scene for what we are going to be talking about by starting with a look at some of those results that the NCSA has been sharing.
Every year, the Barbados Drug Information Network, BARDIN, collects and disseminates information on the local drug situation.
To effectively serve the nation, we at the National Council on Substance Abuse have to keep current on usage, treatment data, and trends island-wide.
Here are a few findings from our latest report.
Crack cocaine was the most common primary drug for which treatment was sought at the Substance Abuse Foundation.
Drug offenses accounted for 11% of incarcerations at Dodds Prison in 2022.
Of the 53 wards committed or remanded to the Government Industrial School in 2022, only 2 were remanded for drug-related offenses.
But of the 85 minors admitted to the Edna Nichols Center, more than 1/3 tested positive for marijuana use or had traces of the drug in their system.
During the pandemic, we saw an across-the-board decrease in admissions for drug treatment. However, in 2022, we saw the admission numbers increase and approach pre-pandemic levels.
Here at the NCSA, we managed a 42% increase in clients for counseling in 2022.
96% of those clients sought counseling for drug-related issues.
Drug offenses accounted for 21% of all recorded offenses by the Barbados Police Service in the year 2022.
In the course, there were 3 methamphetamine-related offenses tried and 2 heroin-related charges.
Despite the continued male-female disparity in treatment admissions, there has been a steady increase in the number of females seeking treatment since 2019.
At the NCSA, we remain committed to helping individuals and institutions in their battle against substance abuse.
If you or anyone you know needs help, please call us at 535-6272.
Or visit our office at the corner of First Avenue, Belleville and Pine Road.
You don't have to face this alone.
Of course, it's World Drug Day today, and the theme is "The Evidence is Clear, Invest in Prevention," and this is what that campaign is all about. So I'll start with you, Mr. Deputy General Manager. Talk to me about how you worked on collating this data. I know that you've been in existence since 1995 and really gathering data since 1998. So talk about what it was like to kind of pull it all together.
Okay, thanks. For us at the NCSA, we see ourselves as the authority in Barbados for drug demand reduction. Our focus is on creating what we call evidence-based interventions. So we have several research projects in place that we conducted over the years. We have the Barbados Drug Information Network, better known as BARDIN. We have been conducting this project for over 10 years, for more than 10 years. We have a national secondary school survey The last one was conducted, I believe, in 2013. We have barriers to treatment for women that hinder women from accessing treatment in Barbados. That was conducted last year. We did a pilot survey with public sector workplaces. Mainly, it was conducted with the Ministry of Home Affairs and Information. We also plan to conduct a workplace survey, a general public sector workplace survey, something later this year. We plan to do a national household survey, and we also have something in place called what we call an early warning system. These findings are used to actually create and develop interventions, drug prevention interventions, and that is the gold standard in the drug demand reduction sector.
Absolutely. I would imagine it will dictate the types of programs that you move into and how you're able to get into communities and help the most vulnerable people. For you, Dr. Yearwood, talk to me about the findings, some of the most stark things that have come out of the research. We're hearing some pretty interesting things from what we heard just now in that video.
Right, okay. Some of those interesting findings, well, I can say between 1998 and 2024, some of the key research findings continue to show that alcohol is the leading legal drug consumed, while marijuana and cocaine are the main illegal drugs consumed. We regard these drugs as traditional, as they are the main drugs captured by our reports. However, within the last 7 years, we have seen the emergence of new dangerous substances, such as methamphetamine, ecstasy, and synthetic cannabinoids. Now, I can go on and explain further, if you have time, about the characteristics of these substances and what makes them so dangerous.
Please do. Let's get into it a little bit, because hearing so much about alcohol, of course, you mentioned the most popular legal drug still out there, and a lot of the times I don't think people necessarily consider alcohol as a drug, but we've seen the effects across our society. So these new drugs, let's talk about the impact they're having. Methamphetamines, usually we hear about these things on television, as I would say in other places. So it's interesting to hear that they're indeed, here in Barbados.
Right. Methamphetamine was captured in some of our, Troy spoke to our early warning system. The early warning system is set up to capture information in quick time. In that, the traditional method of collecting data is through a survey. Going through a survey, you collect data, you analyze data. It takes about 5-6 months in order for those findings to be released. However, if you have a system in place where you can get information being sent to the organization through its many channels, that can allow us to say, well, look, we have a problem with a particular drug. And we utilize the services of the Forensic Science Center to test these drugs. So instead of you have someone saying, well, this drug is dangerous, no, we have the scientific chemical breakdown of these substances. Actually, we will publish 2 drug alerts pertaining to methamphetamine. And speaking about methamphetamine in particular, methamphetamine is a crystal powder. It is a highly addictive stimulant. It can lead to hallucinations, paranoia. It can be fatal. It can lead to aggressive behavior. The danger with methamphetamine is that it is mixed sometimes with other substances. We hear about ecstasy, which is a popular dance, party drug for young people, and the ecstasy pills. Ecstasy pills by itself can lead to dehydration, and it can lead to an increase in heartbeat. However, when mixed with methamphetamine, when people are selling these substances, you just don't know what it is the young people are taking.
Okay, so Troy, talk to me a little bit about that process. I like the immediate call and response of being able to kind of draw on the forensics department and find out what's happening. And I can remember a few of those alerts coming out that we placed on air for radio and so on. So talk to me about how it works with you. Is it that you get alerts that there are certain new drugs on the market, or you're looking for behaviors? How does it work from your perspective?
Okay, fine. early warning system is a mechanism, as Jonathan said, designed basically to disseminate information quickly and rapidly. This is done with the help of our stakeholder agencies. These agencies consist of organizations in what we call the drug demand reduction sector. That is persons mainly in the treatment, the psychiatric hospital, the Substance Abuse Foundation, etc. And also law enforcement, mainly Barbados Police Service, the Government Forensic Center, Customs Exercise. And those organizations actually, if they have a suspicious substance, get information. They submit this information to the NCSA. In the instance where Jonathan spoke of what we call synthetic cannabinoids, there was a video going around on the social media platforms where we saw young men smoking what appeared to be marijuana, and they were behaving strangely. Some were actually urinating on themselves, etc. And the concerned members of the public came to the NCSA. They actually submitted a sample of vegetable matter. We took that vegetable matter to the Government Forensic Center to be tested, and at the end, the results showed it was synthetic cannabinoids, 2 synthetic cannabinoids. That actually one was responsible for 11 deaths in Europe. The other was responsible for 4 deaths in USA. And both of these synthetic cannabinoids was sprayed on the vegetable matter and made it very dangerous. So that's why, hence the reason for the behavior. And we are pleased. We encourage members of the public, if they see any suspicious substances, don't hesitate. Contact the Barbados Police Service or contact the NCSA with the information.
All right. I know any information about drug abuse is alarming, but if I were to ask you what are some of the most alarming findings in maybe a top 3 ranking, what would be your response based on your evidence here, your research?
Well, we can't really move away from the traditional substances, and they continue to play havoc, particularly in the treatment for substance abuse. And in particular, marijuana is still one of those substances which we pay very much attention to. Alcohol as well still continues to be a problem. And in regards to dealing with it, we know there's abundance of research that suggests that the younger a person starts drug use, the more likely that person will continue drug use in adulthood. Based on that, our efforts focus on prevention and helping young people to avoid drugs, the use of drugs, and if they have challenges with these substances, where they can get help. This also applies to the adult population as well. But some of the interesting findings from our young people targeted surveys, primary school age 9 to 11, is that in 2020, 1.2% of the primary school students use, between 9 and 11 years, 1.2% of primary school students use marijuana. And fewer than half of them tried and tasted alcohol at some point in their lives. Now, that particular study highlighted the absence of alcohol abuse among alcohol abuse cases resulting from intoxication and being drunk. Now, in order to get such a low response in regarding alcohol use and regarding marijuana use among the primary school children, it suggests this broad collaborative approach, not only with the NCSA, but also with government and non-government institutions operating in the community to help educate young people against the dangers of using substances.
So what numbers are we talking about when we're kind of extrapolating the 1%? How many students are we talking about that were in this pool of students that you're drawing?
We are talking about representative samples, and which hovers around 1,500 students, and but that's a primary. Now within the secondary school population, it hovers possibly around 2,000 students, but the results are
the sample population or the results. You said it hovers around 2,000. So
sample population.
Okay.
Right. But the results among the secondary population, school students, quite different.
It increases drastically?
Yes.
How much is
quite different? No, you will find that in regards to marijuana, 1.2% primary school students who would have tried marijuana at least once. By the time they hit secondary school, it jumps to 22%. So almost 20 times, over 20 times the number in the primary school setting. And in regards to alcohol use, it's quite similar. 7 out of 10 secondary school students would have used alcohol, experimented with alcohol, and more alarmingly, 12% of them would have reported being drunk at some point in time. So we need to we know the dangers relating to alcohol and the dangers relating to marijuana, particularly as it impacts on young people and their ability to function, their ability to learn, their ability to remember things. And the prevalence of dropping out from school is quite high in regards to the use of these substances, the frequent use of these substances, the heavy use of these substances.
All right, so the evidence is clear.
And
we're going to continue our discussion.
The early use of these
We're going to
substances.
continue the discussion when we come back. Time to take a break. And we're also going to talk about the programs that the NCSA is offering to help arrest some of these challenges. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 20.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. We're sitting in with Troy Wickham and Dr. Jonathan Yearwood of the National Council on Substance Abuse. We've had a long relationship with the association, in terms of sharing information and, talking about the programs that you offer. So Troy, let me start there with you. I know that Dr. Yearwood has a lot of information to share, and we're going to have a separate program for you to be able to share all of this information because it's necessary, it's important for people to know. But what about these programs that are helping to arrest some of the challenges that are arising out of this frequent drug use?
Okay, we at the NCSA, we also have several programs across all communities. We have programs in the primary schools. We have Safe and Unsafe, Drugs and Herring, Right Off Drugs, Drugs and Decisions in our primary schools. These programs are tailored, age-appropriate programs which give information to the primary school population basically on how to be safe, how to make sound decisions as it relates to drug use or substance abuse, what drugs look like. We also look at pharmaceuticals in the schools, chemicals around the school compound, etc. To help build a foundation, a sound foundation for that primary school population. We also have several programs in the secondary school population. We have Drugs and Life Skills. This is a program which was developed from our evidence, where we actually did a needs assessment across the Education Ministry Education, and we develop a curriculum for the secondary school population. And this will be ongoing for at least, I think, about 5 to 8 years, John. And we have a vaping campaign as well in the secondary schools, as we know that vaping appears to be popular among that demographic. So we give that information, let them know the dangers and harms associated with vaping. We have a program as well called Keys for Life. Let's give them life skills, teach them life skills.
Which schools are these programs in, and how can they be accessed?
Basically, we are at the Parkinson, Leicester Vaughan. We are the Edwards Secondary School, Darrell Jordan, Frederick Smith, the Law School. We can, if you want us to come into your school, just reach out to the NCSA. Our telephone number is 535-6272 and request the presence of the NCSA. And we will come, we will tailor a program specific for your school's needs.
All right, and final word for you, Dr. Yearwood. I know you had that pressing thing to tell us right before we had to go off to break.
Yes, it is just to clarify problematic use. You're not just talking about the occasional use of a substance, like occasional drink of alcohol at Christmas time, or the smoking of a spliff. What we are really talking about is the earliness of use, the frequency of use, and the dosage.
So prolonged, consistent usage.
Yes, and that key term, earliness of use. This is why it's so important to get involved in the lives of young people in order to prevent them from moving on to more problematic behavior.
All right, we definitely have to continue this conversation, bring some more of the evidence, and maybe we can look at a result every time you appear and dissect it in terms of how you are working to arrest it with your programs and what needs to be done to be able to support the work that you're doing. But I'd like to commend you on the fantastic work that you continue to do at the NCSA, and we're seeing the fruits of the work that you're doing as well. So congrats to the entire team. I do indeed like the video that you've presented that shows the evidence, and that keeps in line with the theme for World Drug Day this year, which is the evidence is clear, invest in prevention. So when you come with evidence-based data, nobody can argue because it's clear, it's there. So make sure you pay a little more attention to the young ones. I know it's absolutely true. The little ones at school are definitely smoking up the weed. That's what they call it. And going out a lot more than we were able to when we were little. Exactly. So there are lots of teen fetes and teen this and that. Yes. And there's alcohol there. As parents, we have to be cognizant of these things and work on how we can get past them. Again, thank you for your time, gentlemen.
And thank you so much for having us.
All right, it's time for another break here on Morning Barbados. When we come back, the Human Resources Management Association of Barbados, they're here. And Nicholas Roberts, the president, he's going to share some very interesting things with us. So say.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV 8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV 8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment. as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7.
Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados on this rainy Wednesday. I don't know if it's still raining outside, but I have someone who came in after me to be able to share a special good morning to you, Nicholas Roberts, President of HERMAP, Human Resources Management Association of Barbados.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful to have you back. You were on holiday. I really haven't been seeing you, and I need you to report.
Yes, I took some time off. I've been busy with work, but yes, I'm always here in the background, just pulling these strings, making sure things are working the way they're supposed to. So you're not seeing me, but I'm still around.
Well, that's indeed a great segue into what we're talking about today. A lot of people, I mean, from the days of when I was going to school, when dinosaurs were still around, we were talking about flexi time, and then into university, same story, where they were talking about flexi time and a 4-day work week and all of that. And none of that really ever came to fruition in a major way across the world until we saw COVID hit. All of a sudden, people had to shelter in place, stay at home, and work still needed to be done. So employers, for the first time, I think, realistically, in this part of the world, consider things like a shortened work week or working from home. So let's talk a little bit about, how important it is for employers to even consider some of these types of initiatives within their businesses.
So I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly. In this day and age, I've been talking about over the last year and a half about how we in the Caribbean often are left behind in terms of what is going on internationally. When you look at the international markets, the compressed work week is something that is the norm in various organizations because they've realized that people they live to work and they don't work to live. And that, by that I mean that people understand that the world has changed, people have to make a living, but how are they making a living? So you are correct, COVID catapulted us within the Caribbean space, specifically in Barbados as well, to utilize flexi time, sheltering in place, but I think compressed work weeks still have not caught on in Barbados because there are many different models when we look at the 4-day work week. And that type of stuff that have not really been utilized within the Caribbean space, and once again specifically Barbados. But there's still a lot of ways for us to go in terms of getting there. But I think we utilize a lot of the flexi time and that type of stuff due to COVID. And I think unfortunately we've digressed or we've reverted to what was the norm for us prior to COVID in a post-COVID environment.
I think that's because, and pardon me if I'm frank with my discussion, I think that's because we have a lot of employers who are a bit of, they're kind of key jingles. They kind of want to walk around with a bunch of kids say, are you here? Make sure you clock in, make sure you clock out, and this and that. So it's not necessarily work-based that we're talking about. I'm still hearing, and this might be a little off-center, about employers who, they stipulate that employees are not allowed to have their phones on their person at all. They have to keep them in another place. I mean, as though even in schools, you're able to have your phones now because people recognize that that can add to what's happening with your business. So if you have people who are still archaic in the way they're thinking, as though they have to stand over people and point fingers, I'm not saying everybody's going to do what they have to, but in your recruitment process, make sure that, or your onboarding process, make sure you let people know, hey, I'm giving you the autonomy too, and you won't have to stand over people's shoulders to kind of reprimand them as though they're 3-year-olds. So in the context of talking about a 24-hour economy, which is what we're hearing a lot about these days, how does a 4-day work week, a compressed work week as you called it, fall into place, or working from home even in certain areas of business, in certain sectors?
Once again, I think you segued into this perfectly. I think Barbados needs a cultural reset. And the Prime Minister Motley, I think she spoke about us transitioning into a 24-hour work environment sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to have to go through a cultural reset nationally before it trickles down into organizations. Because in terms of, if we look at how Barbados functions, in terms of our society, the type of sectors that push our society, we're heavily tourism-based. tourism can't only be centered around Cropover or Grand Kadooman or whatever the case may be. When you look at tourism, there are many different forms of tourism. There's sports tourism, there's ecotourism, there's health tourism, there's sports tourism. How are we utilizing all of those different facets of tourism throughout 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day, to make sure that our economy is booming? Because if it is that we're going to grow and we're progress and we're going to step into the 21st century and we're going to make sure that we have a society that is booming financially, we can't continue to operate with the normal 9 to 5, 8:30 to 4:30 opening of businesses. If you look at the current makeup of Barbados right now, there are literally, I can list from the top of my head, 3 businesses that literally are open 24 hours. Some gas stations, the QEH hospital, because it is a medical facility, but outside of that, how many businesses within Barbados actually operate 24 hours? And when we have people coming to Barbados, what does that mean for them? When they come to Barbados, there's only so much sea, sand, and sand that they can take in. What else can they do? So all these type of things we need to be thinking about in terms of moving towards a 24-hour society or work environment.
And with that clearly in view, how does a 4-day work week or flexi time complement or conflict with moving toward a 24-hour workday?
I think it is based on the sector or the society or the business that you have. So because I know it's a lot of information, but in terms of a 4-day work week, it means that you're taking a normal 40-hour day that is split across 5 days and you're putting it into 4 days. It usually means 10-hour work days for across 4 days, or you can, whatever the makeup it is. That can either, like I said, complement or conflict the type of industry that you're in. So let's use a gas station as an example. You may have persons working on a shift system, but all of them work for work through 24 hours in a day, and you have coverage throughout those 24 hours in a day. So you may have some people working, they may work 8 to 12 o'clock, some they may take break for lunch, come in and work again, and then work a night shift. So they may work 3 different shifts, but they're working across that one day, the hours to make up their 8 hours, as well as across a 24-hour day. So saying all of that to say, the type of model that you're using has to complement your business model, and like I said, what it is that you're trying to achieve from a business standpoint. Because what may work in your business, if you're selling food, if you're selling papers, pens, stationery, you may not necessarily need to be open physically with people in plant. You may be able to open a business online, and the customers may be able to log in and make those orders, place those orders, and have them delivered the next day. So once again, is the type of business you have, the type of model that you are utilizing, and how it is that you're utilizing it to make the most money for your business. And when you're looking at efficiencies, how is it efficient for your business model?
Now we're hearing that younger millennials, not older millennials, younger millennials and Gen Zers are more prone to, more inclined to this type of work. So the gig economy, entrepreneurship, of course, shorter work days, working from home initiatives. So we're seeing that in workplaces, a lot of younger people are not necessarily sticking around for a long time, and they're moving on because this is what they desire. They're not interested in having a job for 400 years, like me, and kind of just sticking around. So how will this impact, to your mind, how employers have to make a change? And most certainly, as these younger people move into positions of authority, do you see that this can be the shift that we need in this cultural thinking, the culture in organizations and sectors of having people work extremely long hours when there's not a need for that, kind of physically being there?
Yeah. So you mentioned the gig economy. I think the gig economy is a beautiful way in terms of the way how work has changed. We've discussed through the different iterations of the program in terms of us being in Barbados and people working all over the world. Here in Barbados, you can utilize people in terms of, just using an example, Pakistan, in terms of labor. Pakistan is very big in terms of utilizing people that are big in terms of technology, the tech space, and you can utilize their services for very cheap relative to a Barbadian labor force. And I think that model has brought its way here. We're seeing creatives in Barbados realizing, you know what, I'm talented in film, I'm talented in dressmaking, whatever it is that I'm talented in, and I can use my services here to give a service overseas. I may never see the person, but I am making my money that way. And you are correct. Many people are not going into offices or going into work environments, working in jobs for 3, 4, 5 years. People are working for a year and moving on to another job. And it complements what the gig economy is. The gig economy literally is, I am working this gig or I'm working multiple gigs to make up my income stream. So I think we, once again, need to look at how it is that we are training people to lead, because if it is that our young people have that mindset, or even if it is that they're not going into businesses, how is it that we're developing them to be able to lead themselves? Because I always say you cannot lead others until you lead yourself. So if it is that you're an entrepreneur, how is it, do you have the tools? And when I say the tools, I don't necessarily mean the physical tools, but do you have the mental capacity to be able to work within a gig economy? Because it takes a lot of bravado to be an entrepreneur, as opposed to working for someone.
Yes.
So you have to have those skills.
So let's talk about the sectors in Barbados that kind of would fit into that mold. I know in speaking about moving toward a completely 24-hour system, there are many areas in Barbados that is there. You referenced gas stations, but in our core area of business as a service industry based economy, hotels, for example, tourism is a 24-hour thing. So people are online and booking all day and night. Trust me, you know that you get the best prices when you go on after midnight. And then, of course, people are in the hotel. They need to be taken care of. People are arriving. Sometimes there might be delayed flights. So that is a 24-hour system in and of itself. But are there other areas that really should and could consider that would benefit from thinking in this way?
I'm glad that you highlighted the hotel. I think the food industry, as well as retail, if you look at, and I'm not singling out any specific retail business within Barbados, but if you look at retail currently in Barbados, a lot of the supermarkets close now at 8 o'clock. And that came about due to COVID. And once again, up in a post-COVID environment, after 8, 9 o'clock, you can't find anywhere to go to buy groceries unless you go to the gas station. So I think the retail industry would be a very big sector to look into moving towards the 24-hour model. Once again, I may understand the challenges it may bring in terms of the labor laws and the contracts in terms of having people working 24-hour shifts. But once again, as I mentioned earlier, having an online system for people to buy their groceries. And I know throughout COVID, that was something that was being looked at by many different retail outlets. So how it is that within the retail space, we can look and see how it is we can go into that space technologically online, so people can purchase goods and products and services and have them delivered, if not the same day, literally the next day.
Yeah, I think that has to do with age as well. That's generational.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say a special good morning to Eileen, who insists on going to Shore Pay. She wants to stand in the queue, 10 people deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to physically see things that I buy, so I understand that. It's always great to have you with us, Nicholas, President of the Human Resources Management Association, and into his second term with that organization, and most certainly doing a lot to share with us. So something to consider until next time we speak: the 4-day work week versus a 24-hour economy in Barbados and the Caribbean. What are your thoughts? Those you can share them with us on Morning Barbados at cbc.bb. And next discussion, we most certainly will share your questions and comments. All right, it's time for another break here on Morning Barbados, but stay with me because we have lots more coming up. Just over an hour to go, and you won't be disappointed. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7 Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. It's moved on to 9 minutes before 7 o'clock. I remember when we used to have to look at the clocks in the studio to tell the time. These days, everybody's using his cell phone for just about everything, right? No complaints about that. All right, time for me to welcome one of my favorite people, Onika Small.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados.
Always wonderful to see you.
Always good to be here.
Oh, wonderful. Now, for those of you who don't know, Onika Small is curator with the National Cultural Foundation, and they're keeping you busy. CEO is keeping you quite busy, but we love it.
We do. It's all for a good cause, culture and Barbadians.
Absolutely. So the NCF, the Central Bank of Barbados, you're having the Cropover Visual Arts Exhibition during the season of emancipation, which is now for
Correct.
2024. So let's talk all about all of the wonderful things we can expect to see.
Okay, so on Saturday, June 29th, we launched the second in our series. So the series this year is called Diffusing Borders in Color, Motion and Form. And this show is contemporary offerings. So we're celebrating 50 years of Cropover, so we decided to do this season a little differently. So we have 3 shows. The first show was Reflections, where we looked at the collections, national collections. This one is about an open call, and we've got different galleries on board. So the idea is to have art across Barbados and accessible. And then the third show is an exciting collaboration with a gallery in Africa.
Wow, so this second show, this second exhibition runs until the 3rd of August.
To the 3rd of
Let's
August.
talk a little bit more about it. Contemporary offerings, motion and form, diffusing borders and color.
Yeah.
Not
As the
necessarily
people
in
would
that
say,
order.
there's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
So over the last 2 years, we did a lot of reflecting and looking at like the transatlantic slave period. And this year we wanted to do more about moving forward. How do we, as a people who are here now, with all the different borders, how can we come together? Do we even want to come together? How do we live more peacefully, more cohesively in a Barbadian society? So those are the things that we ask the artists to address.
All right, so you say there's an open call for practicing artists as well?
Yeah, so exhibitions can be, I know you don't want to get into nitty gritty of how we construct exhibitions, but there are different ways of putting together a show. So sometimes it's by invitation and sometimes it's by open call. So this one we've gone out to the public and we say, hey, Barbadian artists, please submit your work. Let us see if we would like to put it in the Queen's Park Gallery. So at this point we have about 50 pieces for the 50 years of Cropover.
Wow, it must have been quite a task to make that determination when you look at how many artists we have here in Barbados practicing.
Correct.
artists.
It was a daunting task this year, I have to say. It was one of my harder years because you're looking at a high standard of work, a lot of entries, and then you have to really get it down to what can fit into the space. So we've really pulled the best, but we've also pulled a mix of different genres.
Now, as we look forward to the second exhibition, let's reflect on the first exhibition and how that was received.
It was really well received. Our numbers were good, and then we had a nice diversity because we were showing work that isn't necessarily seen. So work from the Central Bank collection, so work that they would have acquired over the years of sponsorship of the Cropover Visual Arts. We also brought up pieces from the Barbados National Art Gallery collection and the Barbados Gallery of Art collection. And then we had one individual collector, Kathy Yearwood. So we got a nice mix of old and young and vibrancy and abstracts and realistic work. So it was really well received. And then we had school children to elders coming into the gallery who, you know, they came to see things that they had seen maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah, let's talk about that selection process in terms of collaboration with the other galleries. I have a link with the Caribbean Gallery of Art.
Correct.
You know, for many, many years. So I know when I go in there sometimes, you know, the head is all over the place because it's such a mix. So how do you determine what you're going to pull? Is there a select committee? How does it work?
That is, as again with how we receive the work, that has a very diversity of ways of manifesting. So this time what I did was I went through the different collections for the national collection and pulled work that related to the theme. For this second show, we actually have the Gallery of Caribbean Art on board. We have the Winifred Cumberbatch Gallery. We have the Center for Hybrid Studies, Barbados Photographic Society. There are about 6 galleries on board, and there are individually curating selections within their space that reflect the theme. So it's a little less daunting for me.
Yes.
I don't have to do all. They're doing their own. So each gallery will then say, okay, well, the theme is diffusing borders in color, motion, form. How is that manifest in art? Not always easy. So I know with Hazel Ann at Gallery of Caribbean Art, she would have sent out a call again, have artists submit work, and then she will choose what she thinks is the best that represents the theme, which is the same thing that I do.
Absolutely. Good morning, Hazel Ann.
Good morning.
But let's break that title down a little bit because there's so much in it. I know you said initially there's lots to unpack, maybe literally and figuratively. Diffusing borders in color. And you talked a bit about that.
Yeah.
But motion in form.
Motion, well, Cropover, the celebration is about motion, right? So either the motion of bodies, but we also wanted artists to think about the spiritual level. So that interplay between different elements. So the spiritual elements manifested in the physical form, and how do we see that, or how we don't see that, and how that is brought to light. Because when we were thinking about it, there's the idea that, you know, as an African-centered people, that we're very much steeped in rituals, but every set or group of people has their own rituals, and we all have ancestors, regardless of what color we are. We have ancestors, and those ancestors play into the ritual and how we manifest, how we see things, and how they access us to continue on our daily lives. So that's one of the things that we wanted to address, that unseen and seen world, that motion, that form, that motion that manifests in form, and how that is portrayed.
And then you add contemporary to that. So this is somewhat reflective, I would imagine.
It is. So this second show is definitely how do the artists that are living in Barbados, working in Barbados, perceiving in Barbados, and a lot of artists are very empathetic. So they're feeling things that maybe the regular person isn't feeling. How have they felt about the society, and how can we bring maybe a better understanding, cohesiveness, or even interactions? Because we're still very much in 2024, as the people would say, we live in our silos, we're very separate. There are certain things that we feel that black people should do, and certain things that white people should do, and certain things that Indians should do. And yes, there are cultural norms, but there's also something that is Barbadian, that we have to function as Barbadians. And what is that?
Wow. So this all gets started this weekend.
Yeah. Yes,
and
it does.
It runs down until August 3rd. So we still have some time. Let's talk about the gallery hours and how people can get involved. Is there still an open call for active artists, or?
No, well, the call is finished. We're selecting and receiving work. So yesterday we started receiving, we continue receiving today. Today is Wednesday.
Indeed.
Show goes up tomorrow. We're hanging, opens to the public. So there's not an open call again for this one, but we have some special things happening for the next show. That's going to be really exciting. I'm going to talk about them now, but really exciting, where we're once again inviting artists openly to come to share with us.
So as you dissect the last exhibition and mount this one, is there kind of a lull, a break in being able to come into the gallery, or is it still open regular hours?
It is not open regular hours for this week, which is our receipt and installation week. We open 9 to 5, but what I tell people is anytime somebody knocks on the door and I have work in the gallery and they say, can we come in? I'm like, sure, because there's always something to see. So even within the process of hanging a show, there's that to see. But we go back to gallery hours on Saturday, which is 10 to 6.
All right, 10 to 6 on Saturday?
10 to 6, but we go from Monday to Saturday, 10 to 6.
Okay, so, I mean, all types of hours. And, of course, we don't have to convince people that the gallery is centrally located. I mean,
no, we don't.
It's in Bridgetown.
It's in Bridgetown.
And, you know, you can find a lovely park and go on in. Would you say that, and because we're looking at kind of diffusing borders in colors, would you say that the pieces selected for this particular second exhibition are more suited to one type of person or the other, whether it's based on age, demographic, you name it, you know, or is it an exhibition for all?
This is an exhibition for all. So we curated it that everybody, regardless of age, color, whatever, you can come into the gallery and there's going to be something there that will resonate with you. So we have abstracts, realistic, we have 3D, we have 2D, we have craft, we have everything. So there's something that you should be able to come into the gallery and relax in the beauty of the piece, or it should stimulate your thought in some way.
Are you still in awe a lot of times when you see pieces? I mean, as curator, this might seem like an out there question, but you know, sometimes you get into, you know, your everyday, day-to-day work, and it could be ho-hum, you know, like, okay, yes.
Never ho-hum.
Yeah, but because I see you describing these and the eyes and the emotion, and I can see it's all
I love what I do. I walk into Queen's Park Gallery, and the last show when we took it down, I was like, bye babies. But there's like a whole new crop, a different energy that's in, and every time I see something beautiful and breathtaking, or just something that moves me, maybe even to cry, to wonder, to ponder, to think. So there's always so much. I'm never at a loss for wonder.
Wow, are the pieces being offered for sale? Some of
this
them?
show, all of them are for sale.
Oh,
the last
beautiful.
show, nothing was for sale. It was just for you to come and enjoy. But this show, we're also about creating opportunities for artists.
You don't have to tell me twice. Absolutely love that. And you know, we want to see more art on walls.
Yeah, so we have our mural program continues that Rodney keeps working on. So we have more art in the communities. As I said, there's art all over the festival. We have some work coming at the delivery of the last canes, the ceremonial delivery. And we have 12 artists who have been commissioned to do pieces for our stalwarts. So we're working hard in the visual arts.
Wow, I absolutely know. You have to come out and be a part of the second exhibition. It'll run from June 29th to August 3rd, Diffusing Borders in Color, Motion and Form, Contemporary Offerings. I mean, that covers just about everything.
We were inclusive.
I absolutely love it. And so come out and see the work of these amazing Barbadian artists on show at the Queen's Park Gallery, and open from 10 to 6 every day. I mean, that's
not Sundays.
All you need, not Sundays. Monday to Saturday, all right? All right, thanks. Great to see you,
Thank
Anika.
you, Tisha. Same here.
All right, wonderful stuff. And a good morning to Sheena Rose. I had a really great conversation with Sheena Rose last night. I happened upon her. All right, time for a break here on Morning Barbados, but more is coming up. So see you after the end of this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you indeed. Welcome back to Morning Barbados. You know, I'm just like everybody else, speaking at my phone in between the break, but it's all work. I promise you that happens a lot. But we, of course, have to bring you our hurricane tip. We're going to tell you a little bit about that as we kind of prep for the hurricane season. And it's here. I mean, we're feeling it. We're seeing it. It's raining outside today. So we definitely know when it is that time of year. So make sure that you're prepared. That's what you need to do. That's coming up after this. We want to tell you all about Family Fest 2024. And we've kind of been talking about this for a little while because we had Cornelius Bartlett in for a stint with us. And here he is back wearing his hat as chairman and founder of Family Fest Barbados. So good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Good morning. Great being here too.
All right.
Always good to be with you.
Absolutely. Good to have you here.
Yeah.
And Graham Vaughan is PRO for Family Fest. Good to have you back as well. For those people who don't know Cornelius, we have to kind of rewind and start there. Tell us where Family Fest came from and what it's all about.
Okay, Family Fest came from a vision that I had and a passion that I have for families over 5 years ago. We decided to start looking at formulating this charity, and this all happened in 2020. Then COVID hit in March, and interestingly enough, you know, we were thinking that we would have to rent comfort centers and all that to host our discussions, because one of the things that we are very clear on is that we want to have conversations with people in terms of their family lives and improving family. And one of the things that has happened over the years is that a lot of times we look at how families are falling down and we commentate about what should be happening. But when you take a close look, what you realize is that a lot of times people aren't doing better because they don't know better. So then Family Fest came into being with a mandate of having conversations through panel discussions. Now, of course, that's not all we're going to be doing in the future. But so far, for the past 5 years, and this is year 5, we have been impaneling some experts to have discussions and bring about knowledge on various aspects of the families, various issues that affect the family. And what we did is we divide the month of July. So we celebrate Family Fest month in July, where we divide the month into 4 weeks. Week 1, we look at men's issues. Week 2, women's issues. Week 3, children's issues. And week 4, issues affecting the entire family. And so far, so good. We have been successful in hosting this every year. Every year, we normally use Facebook only. This year, we're going to use Facebook and YouTube because we realize that we're getting a different type of audience from each of those platforms. So we're using both this year.
Yeah, and it's also important to kind of welcome other people on board once you use other platforms. Talk to me about, you know, how things have been received in the past in terms of breaking down the way that Cornelius described it for us, men, women, children, and then family, in terms of the way that you handle the topics that you will throughout July for Family Fest.
I think it's been a very positive response. The feedback that we have gotten over the years indicates that the topics that we choose have been very pointed. Okay, people have been really, I didn't know that. And when I say I didn't know that about myself. You see, because at the end of the day, Family Fest is about asking a simple question. If you could change the trajectory of your family on a whole and of your family members as individuals, would you? Would you be ready to do that? And people have responded, especially when they come to understand the issues that are coming up against the family and their specific family. It's not generalization at the end of the day. It is, this is me. I'm seeing me in this mirror. I'm seeing me in what they're talking about.
So a lot about it is introspection.
Yes.
Being able to kind of look at self. And how does that tie into this year's theme, narcissism and parental alienation?
Well, over the years, we have looked at a lot of topics and or a lot of themes, because every year we allow our discussions to be guided by a theme. And for whatever reason, I guess God knows best, I felt led, and my team felt led, to deal with this issue of narcissism and parental alienation. And I personally, as a hobby, I study human behavior. And when I started to look into narcissism and parental alienation, it was stunning, to put it bluntly. And I felt like this year is the perfect year to deal with it. And it's an issue, both the dynamics that are seriously affecting families. Like if you mention the word, like I ask people, or I tell people, we're having discussions this year centered around narcissism and parental alienation. And they say, well, I know narcissism, but what is parental alienation? So this year...
And I would think people would say the other way around. Because I think people kind of throw words like narcissism out there without truly knowing what it's about. I mean, parental alienation is as it says. So I would imagine that maybe people think they know, that's maybe one of those things where people think they know the anatomy of narcissism, but they really don't.
You're right. You're perfectly right. And that's one of the things that we're trying to discourage, the stigmatizing by using terms like that. However, narcissism is a fact and it's a reality. And I would want us, and I want to be very careful in terms of saying this, I want us to be very careful not to throw out the baby with the bathwater. There's some people who will say, but narcissism is very rare. The research overseas and all over shows that narcissism over the last 40 years has been on the increase. And what is interesting is that my studies took me into recognizing, and I didn't realize it before, that there is an association between narcissism and parental alienation. There's a researcher across in the US, a gentleman by the name of Dr. Childress, and he discovered and published recently, or recent times, a study that showed that when you look at the occurrence of parental alienation and you trace it, the majority of the times you find a narcissist or narcissistic personality disorder. And we felt that this year is a good year for us to bring it to the public, because it's not just about having a pity party around a topic. Remember I said earlier, people don't do better because they don't know better. And one of the things I realized about knowledge, that knowledge can be empowering if used correctly. There are lots of people suffering at the hands, and mainly the children, a lot of people suffering at the hands of narcissism and parental alienation, but they don't know what it is. They don't know how to look for it. When you think, one of the things that I use in business, and I'm going to use it here in this human behavior issue, what you can't measure, you can't manage. It's difficult to manage what you can't measure. So if you understand what is going on, Tisha, you are better able to manage it. And when we get into looking at narcissism and parental alienation and the management of it, you will understand why it is important to have these conversations where people get to understand how it works, so you can navigate yourself around it a lot better. But the people that you really feel sad for are the children who are the victims. We look at our society and we see all of this fallout, all of this pain, all this drug use and all of that, and we wonder where it's coming from. It doesn't start, drug use doesn't start at drug use.
This is just a taste of what you're going to experience at Family Fest. So, you know, giving you an idea of where they're going with this particular theme. You know, how do we get involved? Is there a registration process in place, or can people just kind of jump online and be a part of what's being offered?
People can jump online. They can find us at www.familyfestbarbados.org, and there they can jump in to volunteer. They can jump in to invest, and we're not talking about donations, we're talking about investment, because we want to see a return on investment. That's the whole point of this, about seeing a change in the future. Yes, we talk about all of the different issues that are going on right now. We talk about crime in our communities, we talk about the escalation, but we are trying to address symptoms and not causes. And everything comes right down to the family. This person who brandishes a weapon was once a babe in arms. How did they get there? What was the transition? That's what we're trying to address. And if anybody who's watching this is interested in that, then they can check in with us and see what's going on. Cornelius, give them the number they can contact.
Yes, we have, well, first of all, to log in during the month of July, because we start on Sunday. We're joining James Street Methodist Church for our launch in their service. But on the 2nd of July, we start our first discussion. So how the discussions are going to work: Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. That represents 1 week. And then we do the same thing again right through July.
What times?
Right. Sundays are 5:30. And during the week, Tuesdays and Thursdays are 7:30. And you log in, of course, to Family Fest Barbados. Family Fest Barbados is the handle for both Facebook and YouTube. Just remember that Family Fest Barbados is the login handle. And our number, if you want to contact us to volunteer, to donate, or whatever, 832-5241. That's 832-5241 to assist in terms of your time, in terms of your money, in terms of your ideas. We are always open, and we've been recruiting from the time we started. We've been recruiting. Graham, for example, didn't start with us. Graham joined us over the last year, and we are looking for all the assistance that you can offer.
All right, wonderful stuff. What about the people that you're going to be drawing on, the experts, the panelists who will be a part of the presentation?
Yeah, we have, I don't want to say star-studded, but we have an expert group of panelists ranging across psychology, therapy, counseling. We even have a reverend who is a psychologist from all the way in New York that is going to join us online. And that's the beauty of the online space. I mean, when we first conceptualized this, we didn't think of the beauty of the online, but COVID came and taught us a lot. And us as well at Family Fest, COVID taught us that we didn't have to go into conference centers. We can transmit right across the world. We can have panelists from Africa, anywhere in the world, during the month of July, when we celebrate this beautiful and wonderful project called Family Fest. It's a ministry, really.
So get online and find out a little bit more. They're on Insta, on Facebook at Family Fest Barbados. And there's a website, familyfestbarbados.org, where you can find out a lot more information. Family Fest runs from July 2nd to July 31st. 3 days a week is like medicine. So Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays.
That's right.
For you to be able to get on. And it's great to see that it is church-based. I think we need to hear a lot more from church practitioners, from people who are not only, on the pulpit talking, but the people who are sharing the word behind the scenes every day and hearing their opinions and how they can affect change in society. And I think this is certainly one of the ways that we can, through engaging in robust discussion about the things that matter. Families most certainly do. So make sure you do that research, find out a little bit more. Cornelius Bartlett is chairman and founder of Family Fest Barbados, and Graham is PRO. So make sure that you check in. We all have families. No matter how big or how small, extended or nuclear they are, we all have families. So there's something of interest for all of us. Time for another break on Morning Barbados, but stick around. We'll be right back.
Family Fest, bringing help, hope, healing, and happiness.
Are you ready to help make a difference in your family? To see children flourish in a protective environment? For men and women to know and function effectively in their God-given roles? For struggling parents to cope with stress and the pressures of life? You are not alone. Join us online for stimulating presentations and discussions as we address common issues affecting the family. It will be a time of interacting, sharing, and learning from one another.
Family Fest, bringing help, hope, healing, and happiness.
Family Fest will be a month of activities in July geared toward rescuing, restoring, and celebrating the entire family. Week 1's activities will cater to men. Week 2, women. Week 3, children. And Week 4, the entire family.
Activities will include symposiums and panel discussions and more. Come, get involved in building our nation and empowering the family unit as we strive to create a stronger and happier Barbados.
To find out more about Family Fest and how you can participate, visit our website at familyfestbarbados.org. Email us at info@familyfestbarbados.org or find us on Facebook at Family.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning indeed. So we've teamed up with General Accident Insurance Company Barbados Limited to make sure that you are well prepared for the upcoming hurricane season. Well, upcoming, it is here. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that by bringing you a series of tips just so that you can check them off your checklist. Now the question is, if damaging winds are expected, cover all of your windows. Are you prepared to do that? Well, if you don't have storm shutters, board up windows with 5/8 exterior grade or marine plywood. So that's what you need to concentrate on, covering up your windows and open spaces to be able to protect yourself from the storm. That with the compliments of General Accident Insurance Company Barbados Limited, getting you ready for the hurricane season. Now, yesterday we introduced you to some pretty interesting stuff to commemorate Heritage Month in Barbados. 4 heritage videos were produced by the BTMI, giving identity and raising knowledge of significant historical occurrences that have shaped Barbados' past. Now, having an historical perspective of our heritage serves as a guidepost and will act as an excellent resource for education of all groups. Historian Dr. Henderson Carter gives us an informative heritage tour of the locations along with a local celebrity. So yesterday we featured one place. Today we are looking at the train ruins in Belle Plaine in St. Andrew, featuring international surfer Chelsea Tuak.
Hello, I am Chelsea Tuak, Barbadian pro surfer, and I am here today to check out the train ruins in Belle Plaine with Dr. Carter. I am always in this area of Bashaba and Calawash surfing, but I've never actually seen these ruins, so I'm really looking forward to checking this out and learning a bit more about the history of trains in Barbados. Hello, Dr. Carter.
Hello, Chelsea.
Where are we standing right now?
Yes, we are standing on the ruins.
Wow.
Welcome to the ruins, or what we call a trestle. We are on top of a trestle, a train trestle, here at Belle Plaine, St. Andrew. This is actually where the train passed on its way to Belle Plaine. And there are trestles in this direction to my right. So imagine a train on this trestle, and this is a bridge. It forms a bridge over a gully or over a stream that leads into Long Pond, St. Andrew. And Long Pond is absolutely fabulous. It's all put together with eggshell.
Eggshell?
Yes, eggshell. Actual eggshell. Wow. Most of our bridges were made with eggshell. And guess what? Without cement, without Portland cement, we use something called white lime.
Okay.
So the white lime is still used today on shop floors. It is also used when there is, let's say, a carcass, an animal carcass. You pour some white lime over it, and that removes the stench and keeps down the germs. So not too far from here, in a place called Cherry Tree Hill, we had a lime kiln. This is a factory that made white lime. And what you did was you get your limestone, yes, you get your limestone, put it into the kiln, heat it up, and that gets you your limestone, your white lime. And with the white lime, you add a little eggshell to it. Some people added molasses.
Okay.
Because for all these years, when the train operated between 1881 and 1937, no problems with these trestles collapsing. Wow. No problems at all. Yes, we had accidents, but not here. Because if these trestles were to collapse here, it would have been really serious. Because remember, you're crossing over a bridge.
Yes.
Yes. And these trains filled with people, hundreds of people on their way to Belle Plaine, you know, and hundreds of excursioners as well were on these trains. So we are on one of the trestles here at Belle Plaine. And you know, Chelsea, of all the assets, the heritage assets that we have from the train,
yes,
and from the operation of that train service, this is the best visible reminder that we had a train service.
So if the trestles didn't cause any train accidents, what would have caused a train accident back in the day?
Yes, good question, excellent question. You see, we are here at Belle Plaine, and that line ran from Bridgetown all the way through Bath, Consett, Bathsheba, right into Belle Plaine. And there was a lot of corrosion.
Okay, of
you know,
course, with the salt
yes,
spray.
Salt spray coming in.
About that.
Yes, oh yes. Lots of corrosion coming in, and that had its impact on the lines and made it very expensive to repair. But it was also the fact that some boys and girls did play near the trains. For example, there was an accident in Bathsheba where this fellow was swinging from one side of the line to another and didn't see the train, and he lost his life. And then going up Consett Hill, you know, Consett has an incline, and these boys were on one of the trains going up the incline. The train this time was a cargo train filled with cane.
Okay.
And one of the carriages derailed.
Okay.
Came back and killed the boys. But killed one boy, two of them escaped.
Because they were on the outside of the train?
They were on the outside. And you see, sometimes the boys would hop the train, and that would cause some problems.
Get some free rides.
Yeah.
Well, I also imagine the route that you described, it must have been one of the most beautiful train routes in the world.
This fantastic.
The coast?
All along the coast. That was when Barbadians had the excursions coming all the way down to Belle Plaine. Longpont was another area for excursions.
Oh, of course.
Right? Of course, Bath, Consett as well, Bathsheba, and you know, not only were there excursions, but the trains went into this area to pick up what we call, or to recover the plantation produce from the plantations, rum, sugar, and molasses. So you would have trains coming laden with rum, sugar, and molasses going to Bridgetown. Okay, and you would also have passengers coming this way. So let's say you lived at Farley Hill.
Okay.
And you wanted to get from Bridgetown to Farley Hill. The easiest route is to take the train.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. And guess what was the fare?
I would like to.
Yeah.
What is the fare?
First class.
Ooh, there was a first class?
Yes. First class. Guess what? 2 shillings.
Oh my goodness.
2 shillings for the trip. Second class, 1 shilling 4 pence for the ship. Now I must tell you that 1 shilling 4 pence was a day's pay for an agricultural worker.
Okay.
A whole day's pay.
Wow.
And the third class, 6 pence.
Oh, good. Okay.
But hold it. The people in the first class, when the train was coming up the hill, the people sat, while the people in the second and the third class had to get out and push. So that people there at Concept and at Blades Hill, when the train went uphill, at those two inclines, had to get out and push because they paid less. 6 pence and 1 shilling.
I can't imagine that. Had to go out and push uphill nonetheless.
Push uphill. So we are now here on top of the arch. And this is a significant arch because this is the only one I know that has survived.
Yes.
And this is over, I would say, nearly over 100 years old. And it is still very much in good condition. So the train came over here, came on top of this arch on its way to the terminal at Belle Plaine on the pasture. And as you can see, this arch is made of limestone, right? So here's the limestone, and in between the limestone there is rubble as well.
Yeah.
So we are here seeing some of this rubble.
Rubble all here.
Yes, and it is closely fitted, tightly cemented with what we call the white lime. The train service started around 1873. That's when they started to build this service, and the actual service began in 1881. 1881, and at first there was a line just from Bridgetown to Carrington. Then they extended the line down to Belle Plaine. And then there was another line that ran straight to the Crane Hotel. This is a special line for the hoteliers and the guests at Crane, so that if a guest wanted to go from Bridgetown to the Crane Hotel, that was possible by train.
Wow.
All right? And then we have hotels on Abashiba, and the train passed right by the hotels. Beachmont, Edgewater, all of these hotels were there, and the train passed there. And there's several of these trestles in Bashiba, but there's none like this beautiful art. And watch the block work, the beautiful block work here, limestone and rubble. This is rubble, and it is cemented with what we call white lime. I'm trying to find if we can see any eggshell.
I've been looking as well.
Yes, because normally we will put in a little eggshell and a little molasses as well. We had plenty of molasses. We could put in a little molasses, and that would make the arch very strong. So this is significant because these trains were very heavy, laden with passengers, and they're coming over this. So imagine the weight on this arch, and imagine that the arch is just cemented with white lime.
And eggshell.
And eggshell. And rubble. Okay? And this is wonderful architecture and good engineering that it has survived for such a long time. From the 1880s right up to today. Okay?
Do you think the trains carried more passengers or more cargo? What was the main...
The main was passengers.
Okay.
Passengers and then cargo. And the cargo was essential during what we call the crop season. For example, right now is May, and between January and about early June, you would have the crop season. And the train, the lines pass through the actual plantations.
Okay.
So there's a line at Buckley and a station at Buckley. And Buckley factory produced a lot of stuff. Molasses, sugar, and of course the rum was made at other places. Then the train had another station at Carrington.
Okay.
Carrington was a big sugar factory. Okay, so you collected your molasses and sugar from there, and then you moved to Tree Houses. Tree Houses was a factory, not only a spring.
Okay.
A large factory, and if you go into the bushes there, Tree Houses, you can see the chimney. Okay, so all of these factories were on the train line, and there were stops there, so it was very convenient. Remember, in those days, most of the factory owners and the sugar planters were also government men. So they made sure that the train ran through those areas where the plantations were located. But I'll tell you, Chelsea, there was a plan to run the train through the West Coast.
That would have been beautiful.
Yes, but the plan never worked because the West Coast didn't have all these big plantations.
Yes.
So it was better to run it through the St. George's Valley. But yes, there was a plan as early as 1845 to run that train through St. James, etc., and through St. Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, but they took the decision to go through the St. George's Valley and come down here. And I think that was a better decision because even if you are at Farley Hill or Chai-Tree Hill and you arrive here at Belle Plaine, you can still get a buggy or horse-drawn car and take you up the hill. Okay, so I thought that was a good decision. But, you know, there were so many people who regretted that the train line and the train station, everything came to an end in 1937. And many people still remember going on these trains for excursions, and you know, people still remember you know, traveling from Belle Plaine to Bridgetown on the train and paying their 6 pence for third class. People still remember those things, and we still have this here as memory. And it is so well kept, and even though it is in a village here in Belle Plaine, the villagers have treated it very nicely. They had not picked at the blocks or do anything to discover it. They had treated it really well, and this is an outstanding heritage asset. I would like the tourists to come here. I would like to see Barbadians come here and view it, and to play a little game of dominoes under here. Wonderful.
It is beautiful, a beautiful part of our history. I'm glad I learned about it today because I always pass this road coming to and from surfing and didn't even know it was here. So I'm glad for the explanation. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter.
Thank you so much for coming. It has been a pleasure to have you here at the ruins of the train.
So there you have it, guys. You usually find me on the sea in the East Coast in Bashaba, but I'm so glad that I learned another piece of our history today, and I have another beautiful sight to see on the East Coast, the train ruins in Belle Plaine.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
songwriter, you name it. The list goes on. And she's back in Barbados this year to take us higher with a performance for the season. The first one, JoJo 7.
It's JoJo. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher. So high, I think I gonna touch the sky. Carnival I love, it's my time to be me. Just be so free. I'm blessed, Father, you are the best. Come together, let's unite. Greatest party in the world, day or night, day or night. Oh my welcome people, time to get on bad. Forget about any stress. Every woman, every man, this is the day. Hear what I say, this is the time. Time to unwind. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher. It's true, I know you're feeling it too. Soca music so real, makes me wanna explode, explode, explode. And so I want you to keep giving me more. Soca lovers stand out, sing it loud and sing it proud. So loud, so proud. All my welcome people, time to get on bad. Forget about any stress. Every woman, every man, this is the day. Hey, hear what I say. Hey, this is the time. Time to unwind. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher. Jump up in the air, jump up in the air. Try and touch the sky, try and touch the sky with me. Higher, higher, higher.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. to see me, Chrissy D, on Fashion Flair on CBC TV8. I'll be bringing you the latest fashion trends, fashion ends, and everything in between. Get ready to transform your style, get inspired, and elevate your fashion game with the ultimate guide to looking fabulous. Join me, Chrissy D, this Friday on CBC TV8 at 6 p.m. for an exciting episode of Fashion Flair.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so you saw that amazing performance from JoJo 7, and now I'm sitting in with you. Thank you. All right, it's so good to have you back in Barbados. And all right, so tell me, you've been here since the beginning of June. Let's talk a little bit about, what you're hoping to accomplish this season. This season, yes.
This season, I'm hoping to accomplish, I would like for my song this year to really go very far. I want to hear my songs on the road. I want to hear my...
All right, so tell you what, we're going to have to get that going. I don't think that your mic is on. All right, so we're going to get that sorted out. Okay. And because we want to hear everything JoJo 7 is saying, right? Absolutely. So a fantastic performance. But you can look out for her because she's going to be performing at Soca State of Mind as well. That'll be one of her first performances for the season. All right, trying to get it started. Tell you what, let's take a brief break. And we're going to start all these technical challenges we're having and come back. So stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival.
Check 1 2 1 2.
You, the audience.
1 2
Get
1
to
2.
join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so we're back. We're back. I'm feeling the festival. Your mic should be working now, JoJo.
Yes, it is.
Here we go. All right, so you were telling me you came at the beginning of June, so you're here kind of working the scene. You've been making your way across the radio stations and so on. How has it been so far?
It has been wonderful. I'm getting such a great response for the song. Everyone's loving it, and I enjoy performing it. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be here on the 50th as well. It's
Wonderful
very special
stuff
to me this year.
So tell me about your Bajan connection. I know you have Vinci and Bajan roots.
Yes, my dad was born and raised here, big up Comamere. And my mom is from St. Vincent. She met my dad here. They got married here, and then they migrated to the States. And they had me, Bajan New Yorker, Caribbean New Yorker.
Yeah. So what keeps you coming back? Because I know that you've done hip-hop music, so a number of genres as well. Mm-hmm. But here you are doing soca.
Yeah. Well, I come back for the food, number one. For the music, of course, the vibes, the energy, the beauty of this place is just so beautiful. Family, friends, and just the festivities. You know, Cropover is very special to me. I love being involved in it, and I love celebrating Carnival and having a good time.
So you're an entertainer in the truest sense. You also do choreography, dance. Tell me a little bit about your background in all these various areas.
Okay, well, I started in performing arts when I was 5 years old. I went to see a Broadway show with my mom, and I told her that I wanted to move forward with that. And she put me into training. I started dancing first. I took tap, ballet. There was no hip hop at that time. So tap, ballet, modern dance, and then I moved on to acting. She sent me to acting school. And then, you know, from there, I just started doing my thing. From young, I did a couple of films. I did the Cotton Club. I did the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. And as I got older, I tried to venture off into the corporate world and do administrative work and things like that. But the love and the passion was still there. So I decided to just keep doing my thing and moving forward with that.
All right, so you have two songs for Cropover.
Yes.
That one you performed, Take Me Higher,
Yes.
and another one called Be Bubbling. Who did you
Yes.
work with on the productions?
Okay, so for Take Me Higher, my very good friend T. Chris wrote that song for me. This is her first production, writing for, you know, a recording. So that was really great. And then we did it with Darren Bailey. He produced that. And then my other song, We Bubbling, that is produced by Dutty Talix. Him and Itchy Baby helped me to write it. And I hope everyone enjoys it. I know everyone will enjoy it.
All right,
Yeah.
good stuff. So are you looking forward to this first performance? Well, the first one was here on Morning Barbados.
Yes.
But certainly your first outside of the studio performance at Soca State of Mind.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm getting ready, getting the dancers ready. Been working on my cardio. You know, because it's a powerful song. This Power Soca has been no joke for me. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, good stuff. And what are you hoping for in your participation in the Cropover Festival? What are you working to?
I am hoping for my music to basically go international. I would love that. I would love to hear my songs on the road. We're doing a music video in a couple of weeks, so big up Ryan on the scene. You know, I just want people to enjoy my music. That is fulfilling to me. Yeah.
Last time you made a song that many people were hailing as a ladies' anthem.
Yes.
Talk to me about the life of that song over the last few months.
That song has been receiving a lot of love internationally, and I'm very happy about that. The Women's Anthem was something that came from my heart, and it's been appreciated by many women. It has been featured at a lot of women's events throughout the world, actually. Germany, London, Brooklyn. Big up to Brooklyn. So that is one of my babies. That's like my first girl child, I would say, because I have boys. So the Women's Anthem is close to my heart, and it's doing very well. You know, it's growing. That's a song that's growing.
Now, your music, the music in your repertoire, you've been blessed to be able to get your music licensed to a number of very popular, you know, TV shows, etc. Let's hear more about that.
Okay, well, my first licensing was with a show called Toddlers and Tiaras. It's a song called Pose. And then they used the same song on Love and Hip Hop, and then they used it on Housewives of Atlanta. Housewives of Atlanta. So it was, I was very happy to see it, you know, when it played on the show. And you know, I have some other songs. I have a song that I did with Lead Pipe and Satis that is on the Peloton bike. It's on the Caribbean playlist, so everyone should go check that out. And yeah, you know, we're going forward with it. I'm hoping to get some films next and, you know, get some licensing with films and move forward with that.
All right, so you're here for the entire season.
Yes, I am.
What are you looking forward to most? I would imagine you're going to be taking in some of the events as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 4-Day. I love 4-Day. Yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping during 4-Day and having a good time.
All right, how has Cropover changed? You know, as we reflect on 50 years of Cropover, I'm sure that you were able to come back at some point in time when you were younger.
Yeah.
So to be able to be here 50 years on, you know, How have things changed? And I want generally your thoughts on the festival.
Yeah, things have changed in a very positive way. The music has definitely changed. A lot of sweet soca now, groovy soca, stuff like, songs like that. Also, the energy, it's more, I would say that the country is more supportive, is more vibrant, it's more spread. I see it more throughout the entire country instead of just one small area, which is really good. And I'm realizing that a lot of people are traveling to come and see the festivities now more than ever. And everyone's having a wonderful time.
All right, good stuff. Where can we find you online? That's where everybody's looking to be able to see more of your music, see these videos that are coming up.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll share them here on TV8 as well, but to be able to connect with you on socials.
Yes, you can find me online at Jojo, that's Jojo, _7, SEVEN_movements. That's on Instagram. And then all my other handles are Jojo7, spelled out JOJOSEVEN.
All right, so that's it. Easy to find. Jojo7, 2 songs for the Cropover season. Take Me Higher and We Bubbling for Cropover 2024. Yes, and she's looking forward to 4-day.
Yes.
4-day morning in terms of jumping up. All right, so who's watching? Because I know usually, your family and friends, and I heard you telling somebody, I'm going on soon.
Yeah. Okay, I want to big up T. Chris, of course. That's my writer. Fashion City, Impact Boutique. I want to big up, family and friends. So we talk about Serena, Sanai, Zen, Miss Jennifer, Janelle.
So that's the whole family, man. Yeah, just about everybody. But that's wonderful. I know Jennifer and Janelle as well.
Okay.
So best wishes for the season. Thanks for coming and sharing.
Thank you.
Doing your first performance with us here on Morning Barbados. And we look forward to seeing you on stage at Soca State of Mind.
Yes.
Yeah? So look out for Jojo7. She is doing big things this Cropover season. So make sure you look out for those two and call and request them when you call in the radio station. So it's Take Me Higher and We Bubbling for Cropover 2024. Time for a break. When we come back, we wrap today's presentation. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So that's it from us for today. I have to say a special good morning to everybody from the U.S. Embassy here in Barbados. Had a good time with your Independence Day celebrations last night on the U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Eagle. Thanks so much to Captain Jessica, who gave me this beautiful commemorative coin. How about that? Enjoyed it. So wonderful stuff. All right, so that's it for today's show. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to tell you all about a football competition coming up. A rep from the Hamilton Lashley Human Development Foundation will be in to tell us more about that and a whole lot more. So do join us then. Have a great day today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning.